Hi guys, and welcome to the Platinum Wave Camper Cave. Today we have a very, very special guest with us. This gentleman has one of the largest podcasts in the UK, and with over 100 million views, he's got his eyes set on global domination. I'd like to say a very warm Platinum Wave welcome to Mr. James English. James, how are you?
Yes, brother, all good.
How's things?
Yeah, good, thanks for having me.
No problem at all. How was your journey down here?
Yeah, it was good, 5 hours, but it was worth it.
A little bit fresh this time of year?
Mate, I'm normally used to the cold, but it's freezing down here. It is, it's freezing.
Yeah, it certainly is a bit fresh on your cockles, that's for sure. Fresh on your cockles. Yeah. I want to dive straight into the question, James, if that's all right with you.
Bro.
Massive fan of the podcast, of the guests you have on. And I'd just like to say from the start off, it's incredibly inspiring what you're doing, leading from the front, trying to send out a very positive message towards men's mental health across the board, but in particular men's mental health. I think there's a hell of a lot of young people that are uninspired across the country that have turned to maybe drink or drugs or certain stuff like that have a lot of questions in their head. They're all not maybe seriously depressed, but they either have it a little bit or a lot. And I think the 100 million views kind of tells its own story. I think you're answering a lot of questions that a lot of people have in their mind. So it's a very, very positive thing. So I'd say a massive well done. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm a huge fan, like I've just said, but I've always wanted to know what inspired you to start the podcast.
Like you said there, mental health is a big thing, and I struggled with mental health myself for many years. Drink, drugs, gambling, I've done everything to try and block out the pain, to try and hide from the pain. And then there comes a stage, it's either you fight against it or you just accept and you die with the pain. So I just started making decisions, started making choices, better choices, started watching other podcasts, me being me, bit of an ego. I thought, I can do that. I'm better than that. And as time gradually went on, I started getting myself off drink, drugs, gambling, started having a lot more free time, so there becomes then a big void in your life. Yep. How was I going to fill that void? And that was speaking out about my problems. And then once you start actually interviewing people, you kind of see that we've all got the same issues, we've all got the same problems, no matter how successful you are, no matter how much money you've got or what your job is or what your upbringing is. Like, there's never any blueprint or manual how to live life, so we're all kind of struggling, we're all winging it to try and get that sense of happiness. So obviously I wanted to just start it up, and as I started doing it, I just believed I was the biggest on the planet. I believed that I was the biggest in Scotland, the UK. Like, I already believed that. People never, obviously they see it and they think, shut up, yeah. And you're thinking, well. Yeah,
self-belief is, it's an underestimating. I know a lot of people talk about confidence and belief, and you go onto Instagram and social medias and there's a lot of very cheesy, corny stuff, but it's an absolute integral part. Like you have to believe in yourself. Like, you have to take those gambles, take those risks. You have your ups, you have your downs and stuff, but if you don't take that initial step and go for it, what's that saying that's said quite a lot? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Definitely.
So yeah, no, it's some of the guests, like you say, have been absolutely incredible. I'm a massive fan of, like I've said before, Dan Pena. I was a very big fan of Dan Pena, but you have like a very diverse range of people, which is really good.
Yeah, anything goes, so I just wanted to keep it that way because I wanted to tap into all different audiences. Yeah. For me to be the biggest on the planet. Right now it's the UK, the platform's built. I've yet to tap into America, but once I'm there it'll be the same kind of strategies and tapping into that to then be the biggest, I believe. But the Anything Goes logo is for what it says in the tin. It's anything goes, so it's whether it's a porn star, football star, a billionaire, entrepreneur. It's just to tap into their mindsets and people can get a better understanding. You might not watch the 250 that's there, but I guarantee you've watched one, and it's just to then create that awareness of.
I have to tell you, I don't think there's very many people that just watch one. I mean, I when I first come across you, people were talking about you in the gym that I train in, left, right and centre. I was singing this podcast, I was singing this link, and it was always the same chap, James English. Let's see what this is about then. Jesus, now I listen to him all the way to work and all the way back work every single day. You have put mental health at the forefront of what you do. However, you do have a really wide range of questions. You seem to ask, like, I suppose, which is why the podcast has been so successful. You ask a wide range of questions, and they're questions that people at home, they're the questions they want asked, and you help them with the answers. But like I say, I think like you appeal to a huge audience that I would myself call like lads. So these people range from, 15, 16, right up to the, dare I say, old school boys of late 30s, early 40s. And, they've had very similar experiences to yourself. It's a shame for the younger generation because not only do they have them problems to deal with, but it's the absolute garbage that can get spit out on social media. There's loads of positives, and Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, they're amazing tools if they're used right. But unfortunately, they are having a profound negative impact on quite a lot of young people who are already, it gives them a false sense that they have to have high expectations. They should be millionaires by the time they're 19. Why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done that? So you seem to reach out to that whole audience and ask the questions that everyone wants asked. And like I say, you do start with the mental health stuff, but you shy away from it, and you ask the bang on questions. It's really quite gripping. And like you say, I don't think this is just one. Once you start one with all the different fields, you like buy into the character. So you're intrigued, even for example, if you go like you Paul Merson, or you go Dan Peña, or there's some category of someone that you might not even really know. You're intrigued because you find out a lot more about different types of people. So that's what makes it really, really interesting for me.
Yeah, it's just to simplify it for people as well with the mental health side of things. No matter who you are, we all struggle, we all battle. People think when you've got money, it takes away your problems, it enhances your problems. This is something that I've learned over the last year or two. Once you start becoming a bit successful and start getting a bit of money, you start thinking, you want to get all your dreams and all your visions that you had when a kid, the flashy cars, all the bullshit of the day. Once you start getting that, you realise it's not what makes you happy. So it's to simplify the mindset of all different kinds of people, where people can understand that you're not alone, understand that you can better your life, and understand the mistakes that you have made, you have created 100%. Like people who are struggling with the social media side of things, as a competing, everybody's competing against each other. Who's got the biggest smile, who's got the biggest house, who's got the biggest watch, but it's fake love as well. Even though you're posting a photo, it doesn't really mean anything, it's irrelevant. Including myself, if I'm having a bad day, I can post a photo and get so much of this self-seeking love that people tell you how great you're doing, this and that, but deep inside you don't feel great. So it's to try and find a bit of balance, like you says, you can utilise it for a tool where, for business side of things, and showcase your life. But our show reels are all the positives. But 99% of our day is not really positive and happy anyway. We're chasing that happiness.
Yeah, I mean, it's the broad range of questions as well. Like, for example, anybody from a 17-year-old startup in business, or someone that wants to, turn their life around, stop drink or drugs, or even someone like myself who has started on the path to what I hope is some half-decent success. Tommy Mallett's one. I got a hell of a lot of tips out, and I related to a lot of what Tommy Mallett said. I did the thing. I went out and bought the AP. I went out and bought the Ferrari. And then after a bit of driving around, it's great to fulfill a childhood dream, and I sincerely believe that you shouldn't feel guilty for doing it. You shouldn't, if you put 100-hour weeks in and blood, sweat and tears when everyone else is out and you're still grafting, you're still getting up, you deserve to buy the nice things. You shouldn't be guilty for them. But when you realise they aren't what you thought they would be, like AP's gone, the Ferrari's gone. Like you say,
are you happier though?
Not so much bothered by it. I've got different targets. I've had one. I've had one. And being 6'2", 3", crawling down into a sports car, and day in, day out. I know a lot of people don't really, they use them as weekend cars. I had it as my daily, but yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to find my way, James. I'm still trying to find my way. There was a certain element of me buying the car and the watch as a big, I told you so. And then, again, I've seen stuff someone else said on one of your podcasts, other people's opinions of you are none of your business. So I really took that on board, and I'm like, they're not, I've got a lovely other half, 2 kids. So I kind of, had a little rearrange, rethink, step back, and just a long-winded answer to your question. I'm probably going to say, I probably am a bit happier, mate. Yeah. Like I don't miss them.
See, a lot of people who's never experienced that will not understand it. Because I remember I had Paul Smith on. I know he's a big fan of the Campervans. He's got one himself.
Paul came down, I think, about 6-7 months ago. He rang up. I was in the office at the time, and all I heard was, just 1 minute, can I place you on hold, please? He went, I've got a scouser called Paul Smith on the phone. Yeah, he went, there's only one scouse, Paul Smith. And then the penny dropped, because he's everywhere, isn't he? Yeah. Paul Smith's a really, really funny character. Again, a really interesting podcast. But yeah, what a character, great guy.
Yeah, that's what we were discussing. He bought the Ferrari or the Lambo, I had the Range Rover Sport. I remember driving, I was trying to force myself to be happy. I was genuinely, and I couldn't be. And I just downgraded 2 months later. People were saying, shut up, you posh wanker, but it's just the way it was, because I was buying it to fulfill that loneliness and unhappiness. So obviously I had to change the narrative of that and then realise what does make me happy, and that's being in nature. Being as one, it might sound cheesy to some people, but that's when I feel more alive, when there's no pressures, when I can switch my phone off and just be me. You constantly feel as if you have to be a character, and it's like a big circus out there. You constantly have to, I don't know, it's a weird experience, social media, it's a weird experience when obviously people watch me so they can interact, like people will stop me and talk to me, and I don't know who they are, but because they've watched so many, and I'm sitting in a living room, so I then think, am I being ignorant by not remembering who they are? But it's some guy probably in Birmingham, so I'm thinking, there's no way I know him.
And I find for someone like yourself, like, where does it stop? It's important that the reason you've got 100 million views is because a lot of people are interested. So there's that fine line between, you want to show the people that are following you and supporting you a certain amount of respect. But you also have to remember, like, you've got your own life. Do you know what I mean? You can't, unfortunately, stand around all day, thank you, mate, how many kids you got, Mrs. Dog, how you getting on? If you did that, you'd never have no time for yourself. So it's a very, very fine line.
It's hard to find the balance though, because I want to be the biggest on the planet, biggest in the UK, biggest on the planet. So for me to do that, it's constant pressure. It's constant pressure to raise the bar. It's constant pressure to bring in other guests. I'm never happy with it because I'm constantly wanting more, and that's where I've got to question it. Is that another form of addiction, another form of an obsession? Because I'm not enjoying the process, because I'm constantly working to put out good content that people can relate to. It then promotes the brand and then takes me to another level.
But do you not think with that much going on in your mind to arrange, with the pressure of trying to be the best and making sure you're the biggest, and if you don't have a certain amount of time for yourself to process your thoughts, you can very quickly start living, I think they refer it to as the hamster wheel life. You're just going round and round and round. You don't seem to be going forward. You just go. So it's a real.
It's a thin line.
It is. It is a real thin line. But yeah, I was about to refer to you as the UK's Joe Rogan, but I think the way you're going now, mate, I think they're called Joe Rogan, the American James English.
Always know likes you, Danny boy.
So you've seen and interviewed, like I said before, some incredible guests. I've got my own personal favourites. I've referred to a couple of them before, but if you had to pick your top 3, who would they be?
I ask that question all the time, but I've never really answered that because there's so many.
To make it easier for you then, which would be your top 3 that
stand out?
That were the best for you personally, that answered questions for you that you've always wanted answering and stuff like that?
Paul Ferris, the wee man from Glasgow.
Yeah.
And Tommy Mallet was special because we grew a good friendship from that, and I learnt a lot from him. People see reality shows not automatically judge those characters, but for somebody who's created a brand to be one of the biggest selling brands in the UK.
So honest as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, zero filters. Zero, none. What did you think when you said to him? He said something like, how was you, what did people perceive you when you were in the first show? And he starts firing off obscenities and coming out of all sorts, and he's just so forward, but what an incredible achievement. Unbelievable achievement. And like you say, he's just shooting for the stars, but with all these, like you say, top successful people, a lot of the traits are similar. And a lot of people think that you have to be connected or you have to have an education, or we go back to what we said earlier, it's all about self-belief, isn't it? If you believe in yourself, like, he weren't stopping. There's no one stopping you. You just listen to that lad, he's running straight through a brick wall if it's in his way. So yeah, that particularly is one of my favourites.
And like I say, Paul Ferris, he's known as a involved in the criminal underworld, but changed his life, been out of prison for over 20 years, wrote countless books. They've done a blockbuster film, The Wee Man, about him. No Razor Smith as well. He was London's most notorious bank robber, robbed over 200 banks. He got a chap at his cell door. It was a priest, obviously, now somebody had passed away. It was his son, 19, and it broke the guy. The guy couldn't read or write. He was doing life in prison. Decided to get moved to another prison to learn how to read and write. Started learning how to read and write, fought against his case, got the case overturned. Now the guy's got his own publishing company, man, writing his own books. Unbelievable.
It's amazing, it's incredible. Those sorts of stories, like for me, James, from like the humble background that I came from the area of Coventry that I came from, like personally myself, I think people, there was a very catchy statement that came from Denzel Washington. It's each one teach one. I think people that come from them backgrounds that do have a bit of success, you know, I think personally they need to do a little bit more. They should be doing more to help, especially, you know, if you're absolutely smashing your targets and, you know, just reach out, just one person, if just one person, help one person, and then that continued. I just think these council estates, especially now with the pressure they're under from all the absolute jargon they watch on Instagram or Facebook, they're under that much pressure. That's why mental health, like you said, I think it's up 200% or staggering figure.
Well, losing myself as kids, like back in the day, it was out in the streets doing what you're done, and yes, you might have caused a bit of trouble, but you were still out and about. Kids are just locked away now. You go through the streets and the streets are empty, and it's a worrying time because we're guinea pigs for phones. We don't know what it's going to do to us in 20, 30 years time. We don't know. Our stances are changing, our necks are bending, our fingers are coming in as well. Like arthritis, the way we hold our phones, so we genuinely don't know what it's going to do at the mindset, because that brain is constantly feeding all that stuff that you're seeing on a daily basis on your feed, positive and negative. So it'll be funny to see the results in the next 10 to 20 years, because since social media has been around, there's been a 60% increase in suicide. So it's clearly got negative impacts, but it has its positives. But including myself, I use it because you're bored and you have a snoop. If I wake up in the morning and I'm on my phone first thing, sometimes I can lie there for 3-4 hours without moving.
I'd say without a doubt it's addictive. It's highly addictive, and I think they call it blue light syndrome or something. But again, what you're saying about the fingers and how you hold your phone, how you sit, how you crouch, it ain't only just that, it's complete lack of sleep. Everyone knows how important sleep is, but when people are flicking before they go to bed, that blue light syndrome kicks in. They're not getting proper night's sleep, they're waking up, they're tired. And if that's for kids at school who are getting bullied, they used to get bullied, go home, talk to their parents, and they say, look, you know, okay, I'll go there tomorrow, I'll sort it out. Their home was their kingdom, it was their escape. Now they're going home, they're going in the bedroom, and they get it all day, and then they're getting it all night, and it's 7 days a week. And yeah, I mean, just for me, James, I think people that are doing okay, and have found a pathway out of the life they had before and they're doing okay, I think they need to do a little bit more, just a little bit more. And I think, you know, if we could repeat that across the UK, you know, a few thousand times over, because obviously you are the end byproduct of your childhood, your experiences and stuff like that. And if you've got all these angry kids that are getting mistreated at home and they're going into schools, and they're getting bullied in schools for stuff that's completely out of their control. You ain't wearing the white trainers, you ain't wearing this, you ain't, you know, it's the parents who are spending the money maybe on drink or drugs or stuff like that. I think if more people could reach out a little bit more and help them. I know they all moan about the tax and I'm already paying enough, it ain't my problem, but for me, that's just my opinion. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, everybody in life, man, the gift in life is given.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of homeless work, and I do a lot of work. I'm an ambassador for Chris's House, which is mental health, but because I'm so caught up in my own success as well, I can forget as well, because I just want to be the biggest and the best, and that's just pure ego as well. Like, I know this, but I'm still a man. I've still got a drive to be what I'm setting out to achieve, to show people what can be done. But I can't forget why I started in the first place, and that was to give light and try and help others. But sometimes I get caught up in my own bubble, my own bullshit, and want more followers and want more views and want more money. But even though when I get that, it still doesn't make us happy, because I'm constantly chasing it. My happiest is either in nature, or still doing the homeless work, or going into Chris's house and taking the phone calls and just actually speaking to somebody.
But we go back again, don't we?
Yeah. So it's hard. I'm constantly battling.
Yeah, it's the hamster wheel effect. Yeah, there is a thin line, but look, because once you work so hard to achieve something, you think every spare second, if you're not working, someone's going to take it away from you. And so like, it can be an ego thing, of course. You know, you want to make sure you are the biggest and make sure you are the best, but it's, you know, you're scared of losing what you've created. Yeah. You know what I mean? Especially if you don't come from the background where you're told, listen, you're a winner, don't worry about that. You're a winner, I'm a winner, he's a winner, you're going to be fine, he'll help you out. When you're on your own, you know, when you're on your own, you are scared to lose what you've achieved. Yeah. That's why. So again, you go back to the watches, the cars. Yeah. If you don't give yourself time and don't allow yourself to have a few treats every now and then and not feel guilty about them, it's kind of like a catch-22, because then you're completely neglecting yourself. You never have any time for yourself, and do you know what I mean? And that can then make you worse.
Yeah, because I've lost it 100 times over with the gambling. So I know what it's like to be flat out on your ass. I know what it's like to be there. I'm not there now, so I'm scared that I stop. I'm scared that I take a break that I'm forgot about, and then I have to pick the momentum up again. I've worked so hard to get to this level that I just want to push through again, because I listen to other people and they do say that, listen, working 18 hours a day, like, I get it, but it is a bit extreme. Yeah. You can find a bit of balance, but I just want to be the best version that I can be. I want to leave a legacy where people say, you know what, if a kid from the streets of Glasgow can do it, then so can I. So I've got to do what everybody else can, and that's just consistent. Everybody starts podcasts, everybody tries to do it. There's only a select few who really push through the heights and create a brand where people are tuned in. For people to take an hour, 2 hours out of their time to watch something you've created is special, man, and I'm grateful for that, but I just want more. Yeah. I want more.
Because of the nature of the business that you're in, the fact that you want more, what your content creates and who it helps, that should also give you a little bit of solace as well. So when you say I'm spending that much time and I'm not, you know, what you are creating is helping a hell of a lot of people. Do you know what I mean? It's helping a hell of a lot of people. But going back just to quickly, you said about time on your own, and how you process your thoughts and how you deal with things and how you relax. You're a massive fan of the cold water therapy. Yeah. Tinkered with it myself in the form of a cold shower. Didn't last very long, James.
Cold showers are harder. They're harder.
They're actually harder?
Yeah, because it's little sprinkles. In the cold water, you're just down, that's it, breathe.
Yeah, I got the standard.
Yeah, no, that's
straight out.
Cold showers are harder.
So if you can explain to anyone, you know, that might watch it, what benefits have you personally had from the cold water therapy?
Well, I interviewed Wim Hof, who's Iceman. These methods have been going about for hundreds of years, but he's put his own spin to it and his own method where it is changing lives. So the cold water, as soon as you get into cold water, it raises your dopamine levels 250%, strengthens the immune system, strengthens the white blood cells, good for the brain, great for recovery, strengthens the heart, the hair, the skin. There's just so many health benefits that makes you feel good instantly. That's why it's important to get in for a cold shower every morning. You'll automatically feel great, and it's a natural stimulant. So because you're feeling great, usually if you're taking drink, drugs, or whatever it is, gambling, sex, you'll feel high for a couple of minutes, but then you come crashing down. The cold water doesn't do that. It makes you on a high for longer, for hours. Scientists done a study on sex, alcohol, psychedelics and meditation. They rigged the brain up and gave it like a mark out of 10. Yeah. Alcohol was an 8, sex was a 9, psychedelics was a 9. The only thing that was a 10 was cold water and meditation. And that was the only one that never took you down in a crash. So it kept you up higher. So everything that we can achieve in life, everything that we can accomplish, and those feel-good factors, we can do it naturally. So the cold water, I need to do the cold water. I need to, because of it makes me feel sane, even though it's insane to do, because when you get into cold water, the first thing you want to do is turn away and run. Same as life, the first obstacle you want to do, you just want to hide and not face it. But if you actually breathe through the cold water, you adapt. Same as life, you adapt to the pain, you adapt to the problem, and then you'll find the solution. So if you, because we've already, everybody here survived 100% of their worst days. So we're a lot stronger than what we think. Even the people struggling now, you're a lot stronger than what you think, because you're still here, you're still breathing, you've still got something to give. But you need to make changes, or else nothing else will change. Like small steps, nobody will come and save you. Nobody's chapping your door and taking your hand and giving you 100 grand and saying, look, there's a kickstart. Nobody does that. You've got to go out and fight for it yourself. But the better person you become, the better people you will attract into your life.
Obviously, there's that old expression, success leaves clues. So when you mention cold water therapy, a lot of the people that I like to watch and follow on YouTube, Tony Robbins, a very good friend of mine who's into online personal training, Kurt Miller, He's a massive 4:30 in the morning cold shower man. Yeah, he stands. He they all absolutely rave about it. So first time round, it wasn't a winner for me, but I'm definitely going to give it another bash. So let's see what happens with that.
Yeah, go for it, bro.
We've been through your top 3 so far. I definitely agree with at least one of them from all the ones that I've seen. But if you could have anybody at all, to come on to the Anything Goes podcast, who would it be?
Oof. I've always fancied Mike Tyson, so he's coming on in April, so that one's already done.
You've got Mike Tyson confirmed?
Yeah, he's coming on in April, but...
The baddest man on the planet.
Yeah. Second to me.
Yeah.
I've got to go Scottish, mate. It would have to be comedian Billy Connolly. Big fan of him, his story, where he came from, and to be one of the biggest comedians on the planet. Like, I respect that. Being from Scotland, there's not many opportunities there. It's such a small country. So,
he's respected worldwide, isn't he, Billy Connolly? Yeah, I've seen him. He was a comic, weren't he, as well? He's currently suffering...
Parkinson's?
Yeah. I know, I'm trying to show my youthful age here, but I know my mum was a massive fan of Billy Connolly. But yeah, she was an absolute huge fan of him, and yeah, it did sadden her a little bit. Like she said, he was on an award ceremony. I can't think which one it was before, but I seen him. Yeah, and it ain't nice to see your heroes like that, is it?
Because he done it. He went to America and he cracked America. He ended up friends with like Robin Williams and a lot of the big names, and I respect that, and it shows that it can be done. That's why when he cracked America, that's man sensitive, is to tap into that market and crack it. So if he can do it, then I believe I can do it. So not only just an inspiration, that he was just a funny man as well, and a good man. Like, everybody speaks highly of him, and there's not many people don't really do that nowadays. Everybody's kind of behind each other's back, but with him, there's nothing but love and respect.
Yeah, he didn't care. Yeah, he's a great. So that would be your number one.
Yeah, obviously I know his mental health slipping. I've spoke to his wife a couple of times, but hopefully, fingers crossed, that we can get it done eventually.
Yeah, no, that'd be lovely, mate. That'd be a really nice touch for you to get your dream guest on there. So fingers crossed, we hope that happens for you, James.
I appreciate that.
Do. If we could, we've touched on who your top 3 guests were. We've touched on who your dream guest would be. But going back to what you do in your spare time, James. So obviously you have the cold water therapy. What spots do you like to go to? Where are your favourite spots in the outdoors? What do you like to do when you're out there in terms of to be able to relax and stuff?
Walk Lomond, a bit of meditation, do some cold water. There's so many people involved in it now. They do the yoga at the side of the lakes, and then again for a cold water dip.
Not this time of the year.
This is the perfect time though for some people. That it is freezing.
I wouldn't fancy the spandex by Loch Lomond in January, February, would you?
But it's take the kids. And it's a de-stressor. Like, I've got 2 kids, and I'm not going to lie, they're pains in the asses already. They're the same age, so all they do is fight. But I want to, and you can't really tell them because they're just kids. I want them to just express themselves, so I'll just get earplugs in and let them do it. But they do the cold water and stuff with us. And
do they?
Yeah, I want to
great stuff.
Get into that at a young age. I never learned about it till my 30s, so I think if I'd have went a different path in life, if I'd have done this stuff. So
kids are tough, aren't they?
Yeah, they're tough as nails. Yeah, because I've got the 2.
Yeah.
They'll not want to do it, but one will go in, and then the other one will follow suit straight away. Yeah.
My little girl was 14 months old. I'm 19 years old. I am. I had curtains like Peter Andre, like 8 months ago. Yeah. No, it is. It's hard. It's hard graft, but very, very, very rewarding. Yeah. And you see the older they get. It's
beautiful, man. It's like, and I'm at a great stage in their life as well. Like, people know my past, and I've spoken about this in the podcast. I was always in and out of their life. Now I feel like a father. It took me maybe 7-8 years to feel like a dad, like a proper dad, instead of getting the kids and passing them on and to my mum and pretending that I'd done this and that. But now it's hands-on. Everything I do is not just for myself, but for those 2. That's why I stay clean. That's why I stay sober. Is the life and the benefit, because it's boring. Like, my life can't be boring, even though I work a lot and people always tell you how amazing I'm doing. Sometimes I walk away and think, fooled you, because part of me still feels as if I don't deserve it. Part of me still feels like it's an act, or I'm defrauding everybody. Yeah. But I just need to remind myself why I got up, and it is for the kids, is to give them the opportunities that I never had, and hopefully they can spread their wings and achieve much more than I have in life.
Yeah, no, I mean, one of the things that I'm tried or doing with Platinum Wave Campers, I'm not just trying to sell. It is one of the achievements, the very best in the United Kingdom. You know, for me, go big or go home. If you ain't going to be the best, we're not here to take part. Do you know what I mean? We're here to build a brand that is the number one in the UK by a country mile. The very, very best brand, very best camper vans, the very, very best customer service. I want the experience to be like nothing you'd get even at a main dealer. Mercedes, Volkswagen, the lot. I want us to, but what we're trying to sell and what we're trying to build here is the lifestyle. We're trying to build the lifestyle because we all know now, you know, men and women and how the normal family functions of a day-to-day life used to be man at work, woman at home, but you have some highly successful women now, you know, they really are battling their own corner, the same with men, and the flexible lifestyle, you know, the demand for the flexible lifestyle, I should say, is absolutely sky high. So what we're also trying to achieve is attaching a certain lifestyle to our camper vans. Yeah. So like, what do you think about in a camper van, having the freedom, the time? How do you think it would help you be able to manage your time better, manage your kids, spend time with, still get your work done, spend time with your kids, and obviously.
Oh yeah, man, it's like you can work while you're at your destination, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you've got the kids who can do their own thing, you get fed there, you can travel to other destinations, like it's everything in one. So it's perfect for what I do. It's perfect to then not having to book hotels, not having to book everywhere and not knowing where I am in the UK because I'm constantly on the road. So I've got that there where I can be at a certain destination. So instead of travelling back home, I can just pick a hotspot near the destination I am with the kids at the weekend and embrace it, man, and enjoy it. Like,
obviously you could turn the engine on, whack up the heat and look out the window and watch the nutcases doing the yoga.
Yeah, and I've got the Wi-Fi in there as well, so I've got my constant phone there, so I'm not getting away from it, but it's...
like you said, it's all about flexibility, it's about lifestyle, it's about convenience. Ultimately, you're never going to get away from your phone or your device. There has to be a certain level of discipline, don't you? You know, it's just the way the world's going.
Yeah, I need it for my work though. I genuinely need it. So I use that as an excuse, but me and the kids do put the phones away for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Phones down, we don't look at them. But sometimes when they get in their rooms and that, I'm picking to bring it up and having a swatch. Yeah. I genuinely do need it for work. I need to interact with people. I need to see emails. That is my life. My work is my phone. So it's just good to get about. And like I say, these camper vans have got everything.
I mean, the VW camper van, you know, the T4, T5, they are incredibly iconic, but the look has changed dramatically. In my opinion, they're easily the coolest vehicle out of all the camper vans on the market. They look incredible. The 4Motion range and stuff like that, you know, serious power, very quick. But again, you know, you get both elements of it.
What made you get into this? Sorry, I'm turning the questions here. I'm turning podcast.
He's turned back into podcast presenter. Threw it back at me. I was actually selling commercial vehicles at the time, and one of the channels that I was getting vehicles from, and phone call out of the blue, just rang me up and said, I've got a Volkswagen Campervan here. I'd seen them. I'd always said, wouldn't mind a little butcher's inside one of them. And I went and seen it and just completely fell in love with it. Amazing. I thought, these are incredible. And I just knew instantly, like I said, I'm going back to the lifestyle thing, you know, earlier. Again, you can park up to the lake, park up. A lot of people now, they're really trying to push the remote working and stuff like that element. So people aren't always in an office. That is your office. That is a lifestyle. Some people just, you know, it's an instant break. In you get, pack up, off you go. And then I started looking online and I just like you did with the podcast, I can do better than that. Like, exactly the same. I went straight on. I looked at every single company in the country, and I can blow every single one of these out the water. I know I can. And then I looked at the reviews, and you know, customer service experience. And I just seen the huge gap. I just thought, you know, I know I can be better than all of them. I know I can with all my heart, and just picked it up and ran with it. I'm glad that you like them, James. We're incredibly proud to be the sponsor of Anything Goes podcast. We'll get you up to the office. You can pick your own camper van exactly how you want it. You can use our custom build service. And we look forward to seeing what the future brings for yourself and seeing all the pictures and videos when you're out on the road.
Can't wait, brother. Listen, welcome aboard as well. And it's an absolute honour to have you as the main sponsor for the podcast. Kids are going to love it. I'm going to love it. And it's you know what? I'd probably do a podcast in it as well. Like, it's maybe to our nature. Like, I just can't wait. There's so many ideas I've got with it, and everybody will be checking out the Instagram, YouTube for the videos and the upgrades and everything that goes with it. But again, thanks, brother. And,
no problem at all. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure having you. I look forward to being on the receiving end of your questions at some point. And yeah, thank you very much, James.
Thanks, brother.
All the best, mate.
Cheers.